We got it. Yes. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Pop Goes the Zebra. If you're not entirely certain why I had that particular outburst on top of all of my particular outbursts, that's because my computer has hated me for the last 22 minutes, and I finally seem to have slayed the dragon.
Are you saying 22 minutes? I kind of feel like it's been like the past 3 weeks with your computer.
Shut up. Anyway. All right. So, okay, we're going to play that game, huh? All right. So we've got Jeremy the ref, Jesse the ref. We're joined by the illustrious Steve Tortorello. And as always, my friend Stanley, who you've never met, Jesse.
Oh.
See how we play that game, buddy?
I mean, I have actually met it in person twice.
As a visitor, but you've never sustained her for an entire summer, sir.
Yeah.
Sir. Anyway, it's all right. We're not going to sustain her anytime soon either.
Not with the way certain teams have had a stranglehold on the league right now.
Shout out to Tampa Bay for going cheap and getting the most results out of their players. Anyway, we should do a podcast about the NHL. I'm telling you, that might be the next thing
Sign me up. Next time you do it, I'm in.
I was going to say the next thing I do to spread myself entirely too thin. Anyways, fellas, we're here to talk about Warrior Wrestling 25. That is right. We are up to 25 now.
Correct.
The 25th Warrior Wrestling. And I got to say, after having some setbacks there over the summer, to turn around and throw the card out that we've got, I got to say, that's one hell of a turnaround considering how things looked there for a minute. How did this show come together, Steve?
Great question. So we knew we'd be coming back this fall. So this summer, for those that don't know, we ended up canceling our stadium series for a combination of business and personal reasons for everybody. It just didn't make sense. And so we took some time off, recalibrated, and we knew we were going to come back big. We weren't going to come back unless we were coming back big. And we're constantly in discussions with various people in wrestling about joining Warrior Wrestling and coming to town with us. And had a conversation with Pentagon, and he and his brother Phoenix were very interested in returning the Warrior. And so it really started to get rolling once we knew we had the Lucha Brothers on board to return to Warrior Wrestling. They were with us for 5 of our first 6 shows. They were staples of our program. And then obviously they got a little busy the last couple of years, and now they're able to come back. So that was really what got the ball rolling. And then everything else fell into place from there.
I vividly remember those days. The first time I walked into Warrior Wrestling, it was from my shoot job at a parts store, and I walk in, I'm wearing my jeans and a polo shirt, and I look around and I'm seeing all of these guys that I'd known from Lucha Underground and Impact and some guys off of stints with the WWE, and I went, am I in the right place? But you mentioned the Lucha Brothers, so let's talk about it. We got the Lucha Brothers going one-on-one with Brian Cage and Brian Cage and Gringo Loco. Have we cleared everything with Midway? Are they going to call us? Are they going to yell at us? Do we have proper flight clearances for that?
I hope so, because I know that we have 4 guys in that match you just listed who are showing up to tear the place down. Gringo and Cage both specifically asked me, begged me, that I want to work against the Lucha Brothers. And originally, people might know, we had to change that up per AEW and Ring of Honor. And so when that happened, Eric and I sat down and we said, what is the craziest, most awesome match we can book for the Lucha Brothers? And it was against Brian Cage and Gringo Loco, a seemingly unlikely team, but 2 guys whose skills as not only bases, but as just great all-around Lucha guys themselves, that sets them up perfectly for a showdown with Pentagon and Phoenix.
I mean, it's crazy. You almost have a Lucha Underground reunion. You got 3 guys that were there and 1 guy that might have been if the company had kept going in Gringo Loco. Like this match kind of like I have a lot of high expectations for it. I can't wait to see that one go. Jesse, you might want to bring an energy drink for that one.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be in that one. I'll be happy to sit back and watch that one.
He says that knowing full well that I could change that in an instant.
Yeah, no, I've only
mess
worked with
you.
I've only worked with Gringo Loco, and he's a handful. As is being able to like try to deal with Cage and Lucha Brothers. It's a whole different ball game for me.
I'll tell you what, Brian Cage is one of those guys where I was really working out hard, just going heavy in the gym, just trying to cut weight. I wasn't trying to bulk up and shred up or anything like that. But I got to a point where I was actually feeling kind of okay about myself and how I looked. And I'll never forget, like, the first time I met him. I'm feeling good. I'm walking in. I'm not feeling as self-conscious about my body. And this dude walks in and I just go, your stomach just drops. You look at that dude, you're just like, are you for real right now? Come on, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we got the world title on the line here. We got the champ himself, KC Navarro, going up against Trigger Trey Miguel, my boy, lover of Three Brothers Wings. What's the story there? What can we expect with that one? How'd that one come together?
Well, I think that one kind of comes together very naturally. So at our last show, our second to last show in Grand Rapids, Warrior 23, KC won the title when a War of Attrition came down to Ospreay and Brian Pillman Jr. And Brian Cage actually interfered to help. Of the 5 Warrior Wrestling champions, we're all in the ring together. KC, Cage, Ospreay, Pillman. And then KC went on to defend against Pillman that next week in Chicago, and he beat him with a low blow. The only Warrior champion not involved in that equation was Trey Miguel. And Trey lost the title last December in a triple threat match where Will pinned Blake Christian. So now here you've got KC, who can claim supremacy over all the other Warrior champions except Trey Miguel. And here we are with a homecoming back to Marian Catholic. And the main event is Trey Miguel challenging a guy who we don't know whether he should have that belt or not. And he cheated to defend it against Brian Pillman. So all of Warrior history and champions comes together in that match.
That's an outstanding narrative. Obviously, Trey was a great champion in his own right, and my heart broke for him the night that he lost the title. I still remember the look on his face when it all went down. So to see him get a title opportunity here, this is a big moment for him. And obviously, KC Navarro has really come into his own this last year. I think we put out a video of KC's year, and I'll tell you what. You've liked to say that Warrior is a hybrid of today's stars and tomorrow's stars, and KC, in my opinion, leads that charge of tomorrow's next big name to really break out. And I think that Trey might have his hands full here, because yes, KC cheated to win, but KC can go. So, like, I don't really know who to take in this one. Jesse, your thoughts?
Having worked with each of those guys individually, it's kind of I think it's just going to be who gets the upper hand. Unfortunately, like I said, if Casey's using underhanded tactics to win, that could be something that falls in his favor. So that means we as the officials need to be a little bit more attuned to what's going on to make sure that doesn't happen. But I feel as though if we just stick it straight with back and forth, I mean, I could see Trey walking out of there as the champion.
Yeah, I got this one as a pick'em. If we're doing FanDuel or whatever, this is a pick'em. easily. I have no clue which way to go. Moving on, we've got Sam Beal and Jordan Cross. Why do you let Jordan Cross wrestle? It's more fun to pick on him. Like, you're giving him an opportunity? Really?
I will say this. It's going to be fun. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't know how much we want to be behind the curtain here in our conversation versus in front of the curtain, but I will tell you this. From a behind the curtain standpoint, this is the beginning of something, and it's going to be fun.
I kid him. I love to tease Jordan. That's my dude right there.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
He's the nicest kid in the world.
Yeah, Jordan has been there for a number of shows. He has done everything that's been asked of him to the nth degree. So for him to get an opportunity on this show against a guy like Sam Beal and get to showcase his abilities, I'm happy for him. I can't wait to see what the kid brings to the table, because as I've said, this is an opportunity for a star of tomorrow to be born, and I think this is another match that exemplifies that.
Well, and I think Sam Beal too. So we talked about Jordan there. Sam is another one of those guys that has a charisma. He's got a presence. He's got a look. He can go. There's something about Sam. You know, whether he's whatever it is, it's the douchey frat bro, tennis pro, curly-haired son of a gun. And I think I just made up his new Ric Flair rhyme for him. But there's something about Sam that I think these two are both guys that have got a little something in the sauce. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun when they collide.
I know what it is, and this is probably going to make a lot of people hate him, and I'm sure he's okay with it. I'll tell you what it is, what his it factor is. I know for a fact that Sam Beal is, like myself, an unapologetic Nickelback fan. So he's a made man already for me. So, like, right there it is. First, you heard it here first, folks. Sam Beal, Nickelback fan. So for that one, I love Jordan, but I'm kind of pulling for Sam on this one, just because we got that little connection going on from the boys from Hannah, Alberta. You know, Jesse. Do you care to remind me, or do you want to continue playing Rockstar?
Let's not.
I got a photograph over here in the back. I mean,
oh my God,
I could do that all day.
But if only a hero would save us from this conversation.
Technically, that's not Nickelback.
I'm gonna need.
That's just that's a single. Yeah.
Chad Kroger and friends.
Yes.
I was gonna say, if this keeps up, I'm gonna have to have some drink charges to my room.
You're gonna have to burn it to the ground. Moving on. So I'm just gonna have to lambaste you right away, Steve. Why? It's bad enough that we have him, but you're putting him in 2 matches. You got Frank the Clown accompanying Storm Grayson to the ring for a match with JJ Garrett. Like, you got a great match there, but Frank the Clown, come on, man. You
were there in Tinley Park last December when Frank was able to weasel his way back into Warrior Wrestling for the foreseeable future, and we cannot deny his ability to manage his talents on a show. And Storm Grayson and Calvin Tankman are both part of the growing Team Frank. So we unfortunately cannot deny his ability to be at ringside.
You know, I feel like personally, after having been there, as you said, and watching that whole thing, I've never talked to you about this, but I feel like that agreement was made under duress. I think you might have a case there if you had the gumption to go ahead with legal ramifications and talk to somebody about this. I feel like that was made under duress.
Yeah, I agree, but you know what? He'd bury us in lawyers' fees, Jeremy. It's not worth the fight.
That's fair. That is fair. All right. God, I wish somebody would take him out. I really do. Just take him out back. And you know what? Maybe we'll be nice and we'll bury him in a ram's coffin, just so it's kind of on the up and up. But God. Yeah. But yeah, JJ Garrett, Storm Grayson, if we just exclude the turd in the room, great match. You want to talk about a couple of young bucks, just a couple of youngsters coming up. I love both of what these guys, I love them both. I love what they both bring to the table. I think I actually said it a while ago. This is the year of Storm. And so far I've been correct. He has really done well for himself. Done well for himself over the last year. And JJ Garrett is a machine between the ropes. Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say we think the same of both of them. Storm has been getting better and better and better in freelance and other places. And JJ is a guy we've wanted for a year. I mean, we needed the right spot. And this was the match on the card. And we always try to have all different types of matches. We needed a match for a machine in the ring. And this was the perfect spot to bring JJ in.
It might be the mullet, but he reminds me of a young Scott Steiner.
100%.
That's what all of us have basically attuned him to, as being a very young Scott Steiner. His suplexes, his ability, his charisma. I got to work a match of his where it was 10 minutes of a headlock, and he just stayed in control and was so entertaining the entire time. So JJ, I have experience with JJ. He's just so good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table on this one.
Same. I've had the privilege of being in the ring with both of them, and JJ specifically. Good God, the guy does stuff out of just simple lockups that you wouldn't expect him to do, and the next thing you know, some dude's going ass over tea kettle. And
very Scott Steiner-esque.
Yeah, very Scott Steiner-esque. I wonder what his thoughts are on math equations. I can't help but wonder. That was shameless. Even I'm kind of offended by it. I admit it. I'm sorry, folks. If you were to want to do a list of the top 50 bad takes that I've had, you can probably throw that one on the list.
Just throw it on the list.
Throw it on the list. Wink and a nudge. Moving on.
I was gonna say that the list reference was made multiple times this past weekend by people that were not myself and Allie.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You're going to have to tell me about this.
Yeah.
You're going to have to tell me about this. But anyway, moving on. A match that is near and dear to my heart. We've got Chicago's own Sky Blue taking on the debuting Queen Aminata. Steve, we already know what Sky Blue brings to the table. She has been appearing frequently as of late on AEW Dark, as has Aminata in a tag team combination. But now they're going to be opponents. What do you think that we are going to be able to expect from this one from the ladies?
Well, I think, as you know, Jeremy, you were a huge proponent of Aminata getting her shot here at Warrior Wrestling. And I think we're going to see two ladies who are out there to steal the show. They are not shy to slug people in the face. They're not shy to kick people in the face. And as Steve Austin would say, they get their stuff in and they get it in tight and snug. And so I think people are going to experience a heck of a fight between two great female athletes.
Man, I'll tell you what, they both are not afraid to bust somebody's teeth out. I love it. I love a good old smash mouth style of physicality.
With that in mind, are we going to start offering dental plans for people? Because this seems like this straight up seems like we may be picking teeth off.
I was going to say, do we need to fly in
match.
Britt Baker for this one?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I gotta call the doctor. Yeah.
I need a doctor. Yeah, I will pull the curtain back a little bit. Yes, I had a wonderful time at Women's Wrestling Army back in July, and one of the many people that caught my eye was Queen Aminata, and I think by the end of night one, I was already on the phone with you, Steve, saying, "Hey, I think we got someone we need to look at here." And, you know, I wasn't expecting it to be this quick. I wasn't expecting her to be on the first show we had out of the gate. Definitely on a list of, hey, you know, a show or two down the line, let's see what we can do. But I was stoked when he announced it, and I can't wait for this. I really think that these two are going to absolutely bring their A+ game.
Agreed. Yep. And you know, sometimes it all comes back with us to what fits. What does the show need? What does it have? Great women's match. We had Sky lined up, and Aminata was the perfect opponent. So it fit. It fit right away.
Amen. Amen. Right. You know what? Let's just be done with him and just move on to it because I'm just tired of looking at his face already. Calvin Tankman will be accompanied to the ring by he who shall not be named in makeup. Um, and he will be taking on another debut, and this is where things kind of get interesting for the tapestry of Warrior Wrestling, because this is one of those I call plus ones that a happy accident, so to speak. He's taking on the debuting Eddie Kingston, which jazzed for that because, man, I'll tell you what, I know we've talked before in the past, Steve. We both wanted Kingston here. It was just how do we get him here? And we'll talk a little bit later about it, obviously, but an opportunity presented itself. So we got Eddie Kingston debuting against Calvin Tankman, who's just been on a roll of his own right across the board, left, right, and center. What can you tell us about this one?
I can tell you it's going to be a slobber knocker. This is the match on the show where two Mack trucks of human beings are going to bang into each other. And we talked earlier about a dentist for the ladies match. You might need to pick somebody's jaw up off the gym floor after some back fists and some elbows and some forearms. This is just, everybody loves Eddie. Tankman is great, although he's aligned himself with Frank. I think this is going to be a can't miss slug.
I maintain that, much like how he got back onto Warrior shows, Frank must have some sort of dirt on Tankman, because I know Calvin. I don't understand what could possess him to align himself with Frank the Clown. But
I have no idea. Maybe Frank's got free tickets for Disney that he's throwing around to people. Maybe it's airline miles. Maybe he's promising rare Funko Pops. I don't know. But he's got Storm Grayson, one of the hottest up-and-comers, and Calvin Tankman, one of the biggest badasses in wrestling, in his corner. And as you've seen, Frank has cycled through trying out a variety of female talent. None of them have quite fit his purposes yet. So he's got his two workhorses in Grayson and Tankman. And, I can only wish, as I'm sure you do, that Eddie Kingston has a spinning back for our friend Clank the Frown.
Ugh, he who shall not be named.
Did I freeze? Hello?
No, you didn't freeze. You didn't.
Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, we're on a delay here. That's why. Okay, there we go. I think we got you back now.
Hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Yeah, we apologize, folks. We can only work with the connection we got. We tried to find a time where we could fit this in, and this was just one of those days that it was like the only feasible time. We apologize. Hopefully, it'll improve as time goes on, but right now, we apologize, but this is the internet connection you're going to get. But yes, I agree with you, Steve. He's got to have airline mileage or something, or Disney tickets. I could see Tankman being a beast on that Seven Dwarves ride. But going on to the final match of the night, and probably by far the most interesting in terms of how it came to be, you've got the Rascals of Myron and Zach going up against them boys. And I'm not talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about the chicken farmers. I'm talking about the Briscoe brothers. How in the heck do you arrive at the Rascals versus the Briscoe brothers? Which is that another first-time match?
It is. So the Briscoes faced Dez and Zach once years ago in Europe when Dez and Zach were still Scarlet and Graves. So before they were even the Rascals. And so this is the first time facing Zach and Myron. And honestly, how do we arrive there? It's pretty simple. What is a match that Eric and I would drive hours and hours to see? That is often the question that we ask ourselves when we're putting together shows. What is it that we as fans would absolutely go out of our way to see, would absolutely love? And that's how we got here, right? We knew we wanted the Rascals on this show, and we knew we had the Briscoe brothers wanted to do something special. And so it all kind of came together, and the beneficiaries are the fans, because this thing is going to slap.
It's so good, make you want to slap your mama. How do the Briscoe brothers feel about this reunion of sorts? As you said, they faced them once many years ago. A lot of time has gone by, and a lot has changed between all four men. I'm sure the Briscoe brothers have got to have raised eyebrows about this one, because that's a lot of speed and tenacity coming their way.
Yeah, we'll see. I've talked to the boys. They might be doing a little message from the chicken farm and tell us how they're feeling. But I would imagine that they are up for the challenge, because knowing them, they're up for every challenge that is ever thrown their way in any direction, in any shape or style. So I think, again, knowing Mark and Jay, knowing Zach and Myron, you've got four guys who are absolutely going to bring their A game, and it's going to be crazy.
I cannot wait for this show. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm counting down the minutes. We do have one more match that you don't know about yet, Steve, or you might know about it. It is the entire locker room against the most legendary dessert to ever grace the locker rooms of professional wrestling. And you know what I'm talking about. It's called the chocolate chip Oreo lasagna. My question to you, who eats the most? Who comes out on top of that one?
I'm going to go with sneaky sleeper pick. It's going to be one of the skinny, ripped guys who you wouldn't imagine, but who can pack away the calories because they do crazy cardio. So I'm going to go with like Zach or Myron or Trey.
I'm going to go with the reigning champion, Brian Cage. He ate about a third of it on his own the last time I brought it out. So he's my pick. That man puts away dessert.
I think that is a fair option as well. I've seen that man put away a lot of things, including an entire Giordano's pizza by itself.
He's going to roll in with that Giordano's pizza. He's going to eat it. He's going to have his match, and then he's going to come back and he's going to have his chicken breast sitting there in his Tupperware. And then he's going to eat like a whole lasagna on his own for dessert. That guy is insane with what he eats. So
he might. On that note, I gotta jump off and let you guys go. Yep. I gotta unload some frozen food from the back of my trunk to the house here for my wife. But I will see you guys in 6 days' time.
We love you, Steve.
And everybody listening, come out and see us Sunday, September. We
love you. All right. Actually, I had that pretty well planned out too. I said that was going to be the landing. Yep. So there we have it, Jesse. Any thoughts on this show before we do the thingamajig?
It's ridiculous that all of this talent is being compiled under one roof for one show. This is literally like one of the stellar indie cards that you could have right now, and it's going to be a shame for anybody who's not actually there or who's not going to watch it live.
Watching it live on Pro Wrestling TV.
Yeah, no, it's going to be something, and we've gone down, I think, either the whole match card or most of the match card, and just from my perspective as somebody who enjoys quality, there's not a bad match here. I don't think there's going to be a bad match on this card. And I think it's just going to be very difficult to see who's going to have match of the night. I think every match has the potential to become a match of the night.
That's the beautiful thing about Warriors. Like, you never really hear anybody talk about it in the locker room, and nobody like outwardly goes out there and tries to do something like completely out of left field to try to steal the show, but everybody's out there trying to be match of the night organically. And it's so wonderful to work with the locker room and roster full of professionals that we have, that this is by far the show that I look forward to most. And I can't wait to see what Steve and Eric and everybody puts out there between those ropes, as he said, this Sunday, forgive me, here at Marion Catholic High School in beautiful Chicago Heights, Illinois. But yeah, Jesse, I think it was choppy water there for a minute, but I think we got the boat to the dock. So with that being said, if you would, the words of wisdom, mi compadre.
It's a very, very basic. We're not adding to population this weekend. We're not subtracting from the population. And just remember, if it's a violation and OSHA doesn't see it, we may still have our safety briefing on Monday.
I wish you'd have told me that before I did it.
Well, you know.
Well, with that being said, this is the crew of Pop Goes the Zebra wishing everybody on Earth a good night. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy.